Hi guys, my name is Leidy Rodriguez and I've been coming to fellowship for 2 years now. And this is my story. I remember as a child going to Catholic church with my parents. I remember always being afraid because the statues seemed to be staring at me. We would follow what the priest said and then go home. I wouldn't think about that church or God until next Sunday. I remember as a kid praying to God for things like toys on Christmas Eve because I knew that my mom and dad didn't have the money for it. They worked to provide us with a home, clothes, and food. Somehow, we always got something. I knew that God had to be helping my parents. As I got older, I grew more and more curious about God. I always knew that He existed because it's what my mom taught us, but I didn't have a personal relationship with Him. I felt unclean, unworthy of His love, His consideration, His favor. As time passed, I had children of my own and a husband who physically, emotionally, and verbally abused me. So I grew further from believing in God. I thought to myself, if He really existed, He wouldn't allow this to happen to me. The longer the abuse lasted, the angrier I became at God. When I finally got the courage to leave my first husband, I went back to Catholic church, only to be wounded again by a priest that preached that divorce was bad and being a single mom was bad. I didn't feel welcome there at all. I felt like God was judging me. So once again, I stopped going to church. A year later, I received an invitation from a coworker to attend her church in Mount Kisco for Easter service. That was in 2011. I was not at all expecting what I witnessed at that church. The love, compassion, generosity, kindness. God was definitely there. When I prayed in that church, I felt the Spirit of the Holy Ghost. People surrounded me and prayed for me, for my kids, for our lives, for our future home. I cried uncontrollably, but it was such a good cry, the kind in which you feel like so much weight has been taken off of your shoulders. God had lifted my burdens. By September, Pastor Ish asked me if I wanted to be baptized, and I said yes. I wish I could tell you that my life has been drama-free since then or picture perfect, but it hasn't. I have lost 3 children, battled through depression. My son has been diagnosed with autism, ADHD, mood disorder, and depression. I have been subjected to domestic violence again and have yet another failed marriage. But the big difference is that now I have a relationship with God. I speak to Him all day, every day, and I now recognize when the devil is lying to me or attacking me. I meet these attacks with intentional prayers, and I know that hard times will come, but joy comes in the morning. I have experienced it. I have felt His calming arms, His presence. I've heard His voice, and I know that in spite of any challenges that I face in life, He is always with me. He will restore what the locusts have stolen.